Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a long time since I posted. I just been very busy doing lots of different things. Had a new job. It was very stressful, like 2.5 hour commute each way. So life takes its toll. But I now have time to get back into this, recommit myself to doing the content, the videos, kind of sharing my life and projects with all y'all. Taking a different approach. I'm going to try not to talk so much. I want to just kind of focus on the projects, show you the projects, and pretty much kind of go from there. I'm also thinking about changing the name of the channel because I guess there's a million build-its, and I want to kind of be a little easier to find. So I might rebrand it, change it to something else. So you'll see, because the name will probably just change. Anyway, enough of that. I do want to give a quick update for those of you that were following the RX7 build or the FD. Good news is that it was completed, meaning it runs. I did a few things since the last video. I think the last time we left off, we were talking about fuel injection. That was all worked out. I will do a video on the FD, and I'll kind of fill you in at that point. But I can tell you that it is running. That's the good news. The bad news is the turbo took a dump and it doesn't spin, or I don't want to run it in the car anymore because I don't want to cause any damage that could basically ruin the motor. So, but it was running strong and good prior to that. Didn't last very long before it took a dump. It's my fault for buying a cheap turbo kit from somebody that I don't necessarily want to put on blast, but I will provide the information in the next video just so you can be buyer beware. I did communicate with him after the fact, and there's been no response. So all I can do at this point is just let people know to watch out. So let's get back to the new project, which is the 2009 BMW K1300S. Amidst the junk in my ever-cluttered garage, in the background there, you'll see the motor, or engine, that used to be in the K1300S. This bike was one of my favorite bikes I've had. It was really fast. I think it's like 175 horsepower. It's quick. But it's nice because it's a big, longer bike. I'm a taller person, so I liked it. Anyway, long story short, it spun a bearing, and that was the end of that. So I basically went and found another motor, installed it, and started it up. And as you can see, there it is installed. But the problem is, it did start, but it would not idle. So once it finished warming up, basically it would get up to operating temperature, and then once it kicked down, it would just start getting really choppy, almost like there was a vacuum leak somewhere. And basically it would stall, and it would I kind of think it was kind of running lean, but basically I tried a few things which didn't work. But in the long run, I kind of tabled it for a while until I had some time. But I really want to get this bike up and running. Not sure what I want to do with it in the long run. Like I said, it was a really fun bike. But I did buy the other bike, which you guys have probably seen, the FJ09. So I might sell this. Could help with the other projects I have, but we'll see. But I might change my mind once I actually drive it again. So we'll kind of go from there. So, what is our project? Well, trying to get this thing to run. Kind of trying to figure out what the problem is. I was going to do a smoke pressure test on it, to see if maybe there is a vacuum leak somewhere that I missed. And if that's all it is, I'll be very happy and very, very sad, because this bike's been out of commission for like 2 years. So first things first, I need to figure out a way to do a smoke test on it. If you look down here, of course, all the The ram intake, basically comes from here, comes back. There's a filter here. Same thing on the other side, and then goes down the stacks. Now, I don't know if you ever worked on a bike. I'm sure some are more complicated than others, but it was a pain in the ass to get this on because basically way down there is your throttle bodies, and they all have, in fact, you can see one on the left side of your screen there. I just use regular hose clamps because the BMW clamps were a little thinner, and they had a special tool that essentially clamped them on. So I think that could be part of my problem, is maybe there's just not enough clearance and I can't see, and maybe they didn't seal properly. So what I can do is I can try to start it for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. However, the gas is pretty low, and I don't think it's actually pushing anything, because now when I turn it over, it just spins. I'll show you here. So nothing's really going on there. Now, I do have spark. I don't have fuel because I did spray some, just to see what happened, put some starter fluid sprayed in here, and it turned on real quick. So you can hear the pump, spinning, but I think it's just so low after sitting that it's just nothing there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tank, I'm going to put it over here on this chop saw box, because that's kind of what I found. And then I'll kind of go through the process and see if we can hook up or block the sides or do something to get the smoke test to work. And if none of you have actually used a smoke tester before, pressure smoke tester, they're actually they come in handy. I actually use it on the FD to get it running. I did have some vacuum leaks, and that kind of, it just quickly narrows it down to what the problem is. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and move stuff around, put some gas in there, and see if we can get it started on its own fuel. All right, here's the setup I'm going to do for testing. This is just going to be a lot easier because I don't want to have to keep putting the tank back and forth on every time I try to start it. So, and also it kind of gives you a little better picture of what's going on in here. As with BMW cars, the bikes are just as complicated. Lots of things going on, but let's see if we can't figure out the issue here real quick. Okay, so the gas tank has been filled up. So hopefully when we turn this on, we should see our fuel meter. So we have gas. So let's see if it will start. It will not start. Well, day 2. I did some research. Pretty sure it's the fuel pump that's not working. So what I'm going to do now is see if I can pull out the wires, the terminals for the fuel pump, and see if I can run some power to it, and see if I can figure out or rule out the fuel pump, because I don't hear any priming going on. I don't hear anything actually. So it's not, I guess, out of the realm of possibilities that it could be the fuel, couldn't be the fuel pump, or it could be, because it's been sitting so long, and who knows, out on the outside under a tarp, if it just took its toll. So I'll try to get it tested, and you can watch that in all its glory. Okay, so I put the overnight I put the battery back on charge. Here's what we're looking at. So this is what they call, right here, this is what they call the fuel pump controller. And behind this is, you know, of course, where it plugs into. But behind this, there's two leads that go directly to the fuel pump. So I needed to first drain this after I filled it up, and then I can work on taking this controller out, and then I should be good to go. If worst case scenario I have to actually replace the fuel pump, that means I have to take this whole clamp ring off and pull out the whole assembly and do the swap. So I'll go ahead and set this up. I don't think you guys need to watch me drain the fuel tank, so when we come back, I'll be ready to take off the fuel controller. Okay, so we got this off. Tank was drained, took forever. So this should just pop out. Then we should see some wires. There we go. So the idea is we can bypass this, hook up to that connection, and then see if the pump works. Alright, took that off. Pretty simple little gasket assembly. This is like, seems like it's protected in some type of, I don't know, plastic or some kind of coating. I guess this has traditionally been a problem on older bikes where it would corrode, so I guess they protected it. Alright, so then basically I just need to jump those wires to the battery, or those connectors to the battery, and see if it works. They also said the forums that if you reverse the polarity, because it is a DC motor, you can sometimes get it to free up if it's not spinning. But this is the vent. If you can see right here, there's a lot of crud on there, and I know that's could just be cross contamination because that's, you know, going to atmosphere. But inside the tank looked okay, actually. It's a plastic tank, but that, you know, never know. Maybe that's also what's, you know, corroded the pump. So we'll let's put some power to this and see what we get. Well, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up the video here. I did a test, and either way, either polarity, I got no movement, nothing at all. But I did get a lot of hot wires to hold at the battery, so that means that it's pushing back a lot of resistance. So, which is pretty much means the pump is shot, and the voltage has nowhere to go but back. So I'll go ahead and wrap it up for today, and I need to source a pump. I've heard you can actually source a pump directly from the manufacturer instead of going through BMW, so that's what I'll try to do. And thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, all that fun stuff, and we will keep the videos coming. Thank you.